Good evening. Thanks for joining us. Their kids were held up at gunpoint and taken hostage in their own home before it was set on fire. Now the Winnipeg family is speaking out for the first time since police fatally shot the man who broke in. They say they're still shocked by what happened and have a long road ahead to rebuild their lives. CBC's Gavin Axelrod has more.
I was about to faint before I got out, and if it wasn't for SWAT, I would have fainted.
Ivy Labossiere and her father relived the traumatic moments that could have killed her. She was home that morning with two of her siblings at the time.
I woke up to the sound of banging and kind of yelling, and at first I thought, oh, someone fell and they got hurt, that's why they're yelling. But when I got out, I see him just shooting through the window at the cops.
Police had been trying to arrest the man on outstanding warrants. They gave chase, and he had broken into their St. James home. She says the man led her down to the basement with a knife to her back. She says he threatened to kill her if one of her siblings didn't go upstairs and grab his lighter. She says her sibling went upstairs and was then helped by police.
Now that everything's settled in, I realize that I could die, I could not die. I don't know what's going to happen.
The intruder started a fire in the basement while Labossiere was down there.
I begged him to let me go, but he didn't, so I was kind of pacing back and forth, and he grabbed me by my hair and told me to stay down. But something or someone, there was this voice in my head that said for me to fake faint.
Then he went to another room, and Labossiere made the split-second decision to run up the basement stairs through thick smoke. She felt the man shooting in her direction as she escaped. Labossiere's other sibling who was home also made it out alive.
I didn't think I'd see anyone again. I went straight to my family first. Honestly, it was pretty overwhelming considering that I escaped on my own.
The 34-year-old man died after being shot by police. Manitoba's police watchdog, the Independent Investigation Unit, has taken over. The IIU says police opened fire when the man went out the back of the house brandishing a gun. Still, Labossiere feels for him.
I wanted him to feel as much comfort as he could. And honestly, my mind's just been racing from him dying and me seeing his blood on the wall, obviously, which really hit something in my heart that made me so upset.
The family now has a long road ahead. Their house is unlivable and they're staying in a hotel. Jeremy Labossiere is grateful to everyone who has helped them out.
Neighbors across the street, the whole community has just come together so fast, so quick, while your head's still spinning.
He also says they're determined to rebuild their lives and move forward together. Gavin Axelrod, CBC News, Winnipeg.
Body cameras are being deployed on more than 36 frontline officers in Winnipeg. It's part of a highly anticipated pilot project that some advocacy groups have been pushing for more than a decade. Police say it's a crucial step towards modernizing the service, even if it's slow to start. CBC's Cameron McLean reports.
And of course the record button.
After years of discussion, Winnipeg police are ready to test out body-worn cameras. Starting June 10th, 40 frontline officers will wear the devices during regular patrol duties as part of a 6-month pilot. The cameras will record calls for service, investigations, and other police interactions.
We owe it to the membership, we owe it to the police service, and more importantly, to the citizens of Winnipeg to show what is happening, how our officers are responding, and also we have a responsibility to the courts to provide the best possible evidence available.
Police say the cameras are intended to create an independent record of interactions with the public. Generally, the cameras will stay on, except where privacy laws require them to be off, like in a medical facility, although officers will have some flexibility.
If we're there for a lawful purpose, a dispatch call for service, then again, we'd be recording that interaction. But if we were there on consent alone, asking questions and they didn't want to be recorded within the residence, then we would respect that request or offer to do it outside the home.
The footage will be stored in a cloud-based system. Privacy laws and court evidence rules limit who will have access to it. The chair of the Winnipeg Police Board says they will keep a close eye on how privacy issues are addressed.
I don't have any privacy concerns, but we will monitor that as it comes forward, and so should the situation present itself, the service will manage that.
The pilot project runs until December. After that, the service will consider whether to roll the cameras out to its roughly 700 frontline officers. Also at today's board meeting, Deputy Chief Art Stannard repeated a call for more officers. He pointed to last week's hostage situation in St. James, where dozens of officers were tied up for hours, leading to more than 300 calls waiting in the queue.
We have murders, we have other major incidents that take away a lot of our street resources, and so we need to have more coverage out there.
Standard says the service will be asking council to fund 36 more officers in next year's budget. Cameron McLean, CBC News, Winnipeg.
Since cracking down on bus fare evaders, more than 11,000 people have been denied rides. A new report says last summer the city switched its approach from education to enforcement. Teams have been working to reduce the number of people riding the bus for free. The city says transit loses up to $7 million a year because of people evading fares. There was also a link to violence on buses and people who didn't pay to ride. Since the program started last July, it says drivers and riders have noticed a drop in violence.
They like the program. What the fare enforcement folks do is they operate outside the bus, so when they're looking for fare enforcement, when they're doing that, they're outside the bus. Most of the confrontations related to issues on the bus are related to fare enforcement.
The team also helps people get access to programs that will subsidize their bus fare. Supporters and family members walked to honor missing and murdered Indigenous men and boys. As CBC's Josh Crabb reports, it was all part of the first annual Blue Jean Jacket Day.
Dressed in denim and drumming, 250 people Friday morning marched on Portage Avenue from the Manitoba Legislative Building to Odena Circle at the Forks. There, family members shared stories about their loved ones.
On November 6, 2014, my son Colton Pratt went missing from Winnipeg. He is presumed deceased.
It was all part of the first annual Blue Jean Jacket Day in Winnipeg. It's to bring attention to missing and murdered Indigenous men and boys. Colton Pratt's mother, Lydia Daniels, hopes it helps families like hers get answers.
Any little tip might break open his case and give us closure, and the same for all the families that are here as well that need justice.
The Assembly of Manitoba Chiefs Missing and Murdered First Nations Peoples Unit organized it, though the walk has happened before in Edmonton. People were encouraged to wear blue. Supporter Savannah Beardy of Tatasquiat Cree Nation added a purple skirt because it represents healing.
I am very honored to stand here and march with my brothers and sisters because there are, I'll say, like 5 to 8 missing men from my community.
Both Indigenous men and women account for 30% of homicide victims in the country, while representing 5% of the total population. Across Canada in 2024, the number of Indigenous men who were homicide victims increased from 144 to 152.
It's like very important for us because there's so much violence towards us Indigenous men and boys, as well as women.
Daniels has been advocating for her son and others for the past 11 years.
And to hear some of these stories, it just breaks my heart knowing that, we shouldn't have to be here, but we are, and it's important that we hear their stories so that families get healing.
She last met with police last year, but investigators had no new information. Josh Crabb, CBC News, Winnipeg.
All right, time now to bring in Riley. And Riley, this week we've had a little bit of everything. We've had the above seasonal weather, we've had the seasonal temperatures, we've had the storms, tornadoes. What does the weekend bring for us?
Well, I mean, at the moment at least, Brittany, something nice and fairly comfortable across southern Manitoba, but things go back onto the warm side as we get a little bit deeper into the weekend here. So looking at satellite radar, we have been under a little bit of stubborn cloud cover that's really started to push out. I mean, it was a sunnier morning, then the cloud moved in. We've been under a little bit of cloud cover here and there. Now we're starting to see some of that clearing, and in the west, a couple little pop-up showers just west of the Brandon region. So another day with a little bit of everything. But we do have a heat warning that's been issued, a yellow level heat warning for this weekend. The area shaded in this pink-red color here. This is where we're looking at temperatures in the low 30s both Saturday and Sunday. This includes the city of Winnipeg, the Red River Valley, the Southern Interlake, and into south central parts of the province. Of note, Brandon not in this. Brandon and parts of Westman looking at a hot day tomorrow, but a cooler day into Sunday. So just keep that in mind. If you've got any outdoor plans this weekend, there is a lot happening across the province this weekend. Manitoba Summer Fair in Brandon looking at 32 degrees through the afternoon. Risk of thunderstorms as we head into the evening hours into the west. A little bit cooler in Brandon as we head into Sunday, but in Winnipeg, it's the Pride Parade, 10, 11 a.m., looking at temperatures around 27 degrees, Brittany. Bit of a windy one, and there is a risk of an isolated thunderstorm late day. I'll have all the details on that coming up.
Thanks, Riley.
You're welcome.
They're back. Tiny ticks are once again taking over on you, on your pets. They are back with a vengeance. We have more after the break. If you spend any time outdoors, chances are you've already noticed them. Ticks are ready to take a bite out of Manitoba's summer. And some in southern Manitoba say the number of ticks this year has been more unbearable than before. As the CBC's Santiago Arias Orozco reports, the reason might be the weather.
So when I go out, I just spray it.
Living out in the country, Darlene Stewart says dousing herself in repellent is routine.
She seems to be okay.
But this year, she says keeping ticks at bay has been more challenging.
I see them every day, I get them every day, my dog gets them every day, and there's nothing that can be done about them.
Manitoba doesn't run a program that surveys its tick population. Our Winnipeg entomologists say their density goes up and down every spring. But this year, weather conditions have made it favorable for more of them to survive.
The season has started with a bit of a bang.
The winter had enough snow cover to insulate them from bitterly cold temperatures. A slow start to the heat kept moisture around, critical for ticks to survive. And there haven't been large floods or wildfires so far.
Nothing is really going against them this year, it seems. And now with the heat, they're definitely active.
Manitoba Public Health couldn't confirm if there are more ticks this year, but some people are already presenting with symptoms of Lyme disease. The bacterial infection is transmitted by blackleg or deer ticks. Reported cases of the disease have swelled in Manitoba over the last decade.
Lyme disease can be quite serious for some people, and we don't know who it is going to show up the most serious in terms of symptoms-wise. So it's better that we be vigilant. We want to stay safe.
That's in part because blackleg ticks now live in parts of southern Manitoba they weren't in a decade ago. But in Stony Mountain, some say ticks are just part of living in the country.
And if you're not ready for it, then don't move.
Oh, that's okay.
Experts warn the risk of Lyme disease shouldn't be underestimated, especially when only scratching the surface of the summer. Ticks have months to be out and about. Santiago Arias Orozco, CBC News, Stony Mountain.
A new way to help people struggling with addiction is opening in northern Manitoba. The PA will host the province's newest rapid access to addictions medicine clinic. Locals hope the clinic and existing programs will help keep people alive. CBC's Eric Westhaver explains.
The PA and Opaskwayak Cree Nation have a valuable new tool to help people suffering with addiction. The area will soon be home to a new rapid access to addictions medicine clinic, commonly shortened to RAM. The clinic will be based out of Rosaire House, a place where people here can already access addictions treatment. Local leaders say the new clinic is a positive step.
Oh, I believe there's a huge need. I mean, we know that not only our municipality, but many communities in northern Manitoba and across Manitoba, and I would say probably across Canada, is lacking of the mental health and addiction support services that are needed.
RAM clinics specialize in providing health care for people with active substance use issues. If someone has hepatitis or infections as a result of drug use, they can get help at a RAM clinic. If somebody wants to kick the habit, they can find help at a RAM clinic for that too. Shared Health says Manitoba currently has 7 RAM clinics. 3 are in Winnipeg. There's 1 clinic each in Brandon, Portage la Prairie, and Selkirk. But until now, there's only been 1 clinic in the north. It's in Thompson, 300 kilometers away from the PA. The Opaskwayak Health Authority is one of the clinic's main drivers. It already runs an opioid agonist therapy program to help people wanting to stop using drugs. The new clinic will work along with those existing programs.
Ultimately, the goal is to help connect people to primary care. So yes, it's addictions treatment, but it's also connection to, having a regular provider for the people that access the service.
It's taken time to make the clinic happen. Community Safety and Well-Being Coordinator Alexis Watts says it will help the North as a whole.
Things like this don't happen overnight necessarily. This has been many, many years in the works, just being able to have these services accessible to our northern communities instead of having to refer down south.
An official grand opening for the clinic is planned for this fall. Eric Westhaver, CBC News, the PA and Opaskwayak Cree Nation.
The day before Trails Day, the province is announcing new backcountry campsites and funding to improve 19 trails across Manitoba. $200,000 will go to groups including the Winnipeg Trails Association. The majority of the money will be used for maintenance and enhancement of existing trails, but it will also go towards marking trails for winter activities like cross-country skiing. The new backcountry campsites are on the Black Wolf Trail in Hecla Grindstone Provincial Park. The battle begins as the city looks to spray against tree pest caterpillars starting Monday. Spraying crews will treat boulevards, city parks and cemeteries where tree pest caterpillars have begun to defoliate trees. The city says specific locations will be determined through daily inspections. The chemical sprayed directly onto the leaves. Caterpillars ingest it, they stop feeding and die within 3 days. Residents can still apply for a 30-meter buffer zone. Okay, between that and the ticks, I just feeling a little itchy right now with all the creepy crawlies. Yeah. It's going to be a really busy weekend in the city. Pride Parade coming up this weekend, along with a whole bunch of other things. Quite warm as well.
Yeah, remember the water. Any outdoor events this weekend, take lots of water with you, sunscreen, hat. Make sure you find a place where you can get some shade even for a little bit, because it doesn't take long for things like heat stroke and whatnot to set in. So take that into consideration, because it's going to be a hot one, not just in Winnipeg, right across southern Manitoba. Let's have a look at some of the town-wide yard sales happening this weekend, because we are still working our way through the list of these as well. I've got a whole list of them. We'll start in central and eastern parts of the province, where we're looking at temperatures. Austin, Morden, 32 degrees for the afternoon. Lots of sunshine as we get through the day tomorrow. And further west, again, another warm day across the western part of the province as well. And this is where we do have a risk of seeing some severe weather moving in as we get through the later part of Saturday into early Sunday. And just looking at some of these temperatures, 32 in Rivers, Deloraine 33, Birtle 31 degrees. Tack on a bit of humidity onto these numbers, but more so as we get into Sundays, when we're looking at things slightly more humid, particularly into the Red River Valley. And that's partially what prompted this heat warning to be issued. Not just the temperatures in the low 30s, but the mugginess that we'll see as we get into the day on Sunday. So this is all the result of an area of low pressure, partially, I guess, that is working its way through northern Saskatchewan. There's a warm front out ahead of this that will boost temperatures as we get through the day tomorrow, but it's as the cold front associated with this starts to push through as we get through the later half of Saturday into early Sunday, where we get the risk of some of that severe weather pushing through, thunderstorm activity, some heavy downpours likely as we get later Sunday overnight, or later Saturday overnight into Sunday morning for western parts of the province. So just take that into consideration. Saturday, not a total washout on the western side of the province. This is more so into the evening and overnight hours into Sunday morning. And as this works through, we'll cool temperatures down slightly on the northern side of this. So places like Swan River and Dauphin slightly cooler as we get into Sunday, and that will also hold temperatures back into parts of Westman into Sunday. And it does bring the risk of some of this thunderstorm activity later Sunday afternoon into parts of the Red River Valley and the Interlake. I have kept a risk of isolated thunderstorms in the forecast for Winnipeg, but most of this is for the western part of the province and into the Interlake, and things generally unsettled as we start next week. So the bullseye tomorrow being the western side of the province through Brandon, Melita, Dauphin, Swan River. This is where we could see wind gusts up to 90 kilometers an hour, heavy downpours, some sizable hail, as well as the potential, I think more so into Saskatchewan, of some tornadic activity developing as we get through the later part of tomorrow. Looking at temperatures in the low 30s tomorrow across the south, 25 in Thompson tomorrow afternoon, 32 humid, Brittany, into Sunday, and temperatures backing off slightly into early next week.
All right, thanks, Riley. And here's an adorable new family out enjoying a very pleasant Friday. We have much more straight ahead. The Liberal government's one-time GST rebate top-up has started landing in some bank accounts. It's part of the transition to the federal program Canada Groceries and Essentials Benefit, which begins in July. It aims at helping low to middle-income Canadians with affordability. But as Olivia Stefanovich reports, some critics say it doesn't go far enough.
The Prime Minister touting the new Groceries and Essentials rebate.
We are laser focused on affordability for Canadians, for Canadian families.
A one-time GST top-up, providing hundreds of dollars for low to middle income Canadians, delivered on a day of some encouraging signs for the discouraging economy.
Big transformations, they don't happen overnight, they take some time.
Mark Carney says the surprise gain of 88,000 jobs last month shows his government's plan is working.
We understand what's going on. We have listened to Canadians.
But the opposition disagrees.
Madam Speaker, having the best job numbers in Canada shouldn't be like having the best bobsledding team in Jamaica.
The Conservatives continue to blame Carney for 2 quarters of shrinking GDP, putting Canada in a technical recession.
The government's putting out gimmicks, but they're not really solving the problems.
When you're living on a lower income, food can consume more than 20% of your budget, sometimes even more.
Advocates say the groceries rebate is a step in the right direction, but it doesn't match the severity of the food insecurity crisis.
The benefit as it is designed is difficult to access, and again, it isn't generous enough.
One of the things that have always, I think, been a vulnerability for the Carney government is that it's so focused on macroeconomic issues, big growth, big projects, things that will take time, and the average person may not actually feel a benefit in their lives.
This pollster says the government has to offer more of these kind of microeconomic responses. And so far, he says they're paying off.
The Carney government's doing much better than it has done in a long time on that, and certainly better than the Trudeau government was perceived to be doing.
But with the cost of living among one of the most major concerns for Canadians, it could also turn into a vulnerability for Carney, who was voted in on his brand of economic competence. Olivia Stefanovich, CBC News, Ottawa.
A bit of a scare this morning for the astronauts on the International Space Station. NASA ordered its crew members to briefly take shelter in a docked capsule because of an air leak.
Station Houston on Space to Ground 2 for all USOS crew members. Needs you to execute EMER procedure 3.4. Crew Dragon established safe haven.
The leak was on the Russian part of the space station. 3 Americans, 1 French and 1 Russian stayed inside the Crew Dragon capsule while 2 Russian cosmonauts worked to fix the leak. NASA officials say the decision was made out of an abundance of caution. The crew aboard the ISS has since resumed regular operations. The section with the leak has been dealing with cracks and other issues for years. Both space agencies are working to resolve the problem. An Ontario teen is upset and speaking out after being taken to task in the middle of a public speech. The high school student was addressing a crowd at City Hall when they were interrupted and then censored by the top local official. The CBC's Sheehan Desjardins has the story.
I have experienced many instances of exclusion and discrimination.
17-year-old Sophie Mills thought their speech at their hometown's Pride flag raising would be a moment of change and acceptance. But at one point, they were cut off by the mayor.
Sophie, I'm not going to allow you to continue this disrespect.
I was humiliated publicly. Change didn't happen. They went backwards. Change, they did change, and they went backwards.
Sophie's speech referenced this meme posted by Councillor Adam Cooper last year, which was criticized by some members of the 2S LGBTQ+ community, who called it transphobic. The co-founder of a local pride group says the mayor's intervention could have a wider impact.
I think that snowball effect could also play out in ways where we don't see the queer community represented as much going forward, or a silencing effect.
Mayor Jan Liggett stands by her decision, saying this was not the time to open old wounds, that Councillor Cooper has taken sensitivity training, and the city pre-vetted a different speech from Sophie.
Sophie has to take some responsibility by the fact that they did not let staff know that they were going to do a different speech. If they had have done that, then this would never have happened.
As for an apology,
I think that would be between Sophie and I.
for now, Sophie says they're still waiting.
Saying something uncomfortable and you get silenced, it's a pretty good indicator that you've hit a spot, that you need to keep pushing at that to see what will happen.
And Sophie plans to do just that, saying the interruption has only strengthened their resolve to keep speaking out. Chien Desjardins, CBC News, Cambridge, Ontario.
A judge has approved a proposed settlement in a class action lawsuit involving solitary confinement in Manitoba jails. The lawsuit alleges the province's use of segregation for adults and youth was negligent and breached charter rights. The proposed settlement fund was $129 million and could see payouts starting at $3,000 for adults and $9,000 for youth. The judge approved the settlement agreement Thursday after hearing from people affected by the practice. Among them was a now 22-year-old who says what he experienced as a teen will haunt him for the rest of his life. The class action administrator says the province agreed to resolve the case without a trial, but denies liability. A BC charity says it's been forced to cancel its World Cup ticket fundraiser after FIFA's lawyers accused it of infringing on its trademark. As Tanya Fletcher shows us, the sport's governing body is getting a lot of backlash.
We've received this letter on May 11th, which is just a few days after we launched the raffle.
That 9-page letter was sent by FIFA lawyers to this BC charity that helps people with spinal cord injuries. It was raffling off a pair of World Cup tickets as a fundraiser. The letter states FIFA regularly monitors the marketplace for instances where the FIFA trademarks are used, and recently activities have been brought to our attention which infringe on trademark rights.
We were surprised. I think the magnitude of the letter and the tone took us aback a little bit, but I mean, ultimately we did respect what was in the letter and felt we had no other option but to comply.
The raffle was canceled, and the tickets, which the charity had bought at face value for $500 each, were put back up for sale on an official site. In a statement, FIFA says tickets may not be used for any advertising, promotional, or competition purposes, including raffles, sweepstakes, or similar activities without FIFA's prior written consent.
Initially, the charity had hoped the ticket raffle would raise about $5,000, but backlash over that FIFA letter has already brought in that much and more.
Even in the last half a day or so, we've received over 50 donations from people who have never donated to us before, but very supportive of us, and I think with a lot of negative sentiment toward FIFA.
It's a terrible message for FIFA to be sending.
This author and former professional soccer player says it's a cautionary tale that fits within FIFA's overall approach of maximizing World Cup profits.
I think this example points toward a bigger problem with FIFA, that it looks out for itself and it doesn't look out for the everyday fan.
And for the charity, it says FIFA has really missed the mark on the intent and the spirit of the beautiful game. Tanya Fletcher, CBC News, Vancouver.
As the Las Vegas Golden Knights battle the Carolina Hurricanes in the Stanley Cup Final, their goalie is the focus of some backlash. Carter Hart was one of the men acquitted in the Hockey Canada sexual assault trial a year ago. But as Karen Pauls tells us, despite the not guilty verdict, some fans don't think he should be playing at all.
The booing started early in Game 1 of the Stanley Cup Finals. The chanting followed. Carolina Hurricanes fans expressing what many survivors of sexual assault say they're feeling as they watch goaltender Carter Hart on hockey's biggest stage.
It was really nice to see the Canes fans chanting "No means no." It shows that the fans are now starting to realize that the NHL isn't really holding anyone accountable right now.
Hart was one of 5 players from Canada's 2018 World Junior team acquitted of sexual assault in a high-profile trial. A woman known under a publication ban as EM said she was sexually assaulted for hours in a London, Ontario hotel room. The judge ruled the prosecution had not proven its case beyond a reasonable doubt, and the allegations lacked sufficient credibility to warrant conviction. When the league cleared them to play, Vegas signed Hart to a 2-year, $4 million contract.
Fans, by and large, want to see their team win, and I think a lot of them rationalize that, well, they're happy he's playing well, But there are a lot of fans too that probably may take Hart's side, and you could say, well, the courts didn't find him guilty, so why should I blame him?
But for some, it's about more than the verdict. This law professor, one of many writing about the case, argues the NHL should hold players to a higher standard.
Do we need a stricter morals clause or something in our contracts? Because again, it's about more than just being found not guilty in a criminal trial. It's about, are you a good role model?
While the debate follows Hart off the ice, his success on it has been undeniable. With his team pushing hard for the Stanley Cup, Hart is in the running for the Conn Smythe Trophy, awarded to the team's playoff MVP. But he's also a lightning rod for controversy. Karen Pauls, CBC News, Winnipeg.
Rain has helped crews fighting 2 fires in the RM of Lac du Bonnet. The fires started Sunday. Manitoba Wildfire Service now lists both as being held. The fire chief tells CBC firefighters are still working to extinguish the flames. He adds they're remaining vigilant with warmer temperatures expected this weekend. The fire department is leaving sprinklers that were set up earlier this week at a handful of properties as a precaution. The fires cover just over 6 square kilometers combined. Wedding bells are ringing, but as the day gets closer, there's another big question on people's minds. How much to gift? The answers when we come back. Stay with us. Wedding season is upon us, and if you've opened an invite lately, you may have wondered how much is enough for a wedding gift. With the cost of everything climbing, Canadians are trying to balance celebrating with the realities of their own budgets. CBC's Ina Sadhu breaks it down.
As couples prepare to walk down the aisle this summer, wedding guests are grappling with a deceptively simple question: how much is a reasonable gift?
Usually like the $100 to $200 range has kind of been what I've gravitated towards.
I would say $100.
I'd say $250. 50 to 200. That's maximum for me.
Industry experts say deciding what to give can feel tricky these days, especially as Canadians navigate higher costs in nearly every part of life.
I would think that $100 a person for the average wedding is where you would like to be. And I think it goes up from there.
For many guests, affordability is becoming a bigger part of the calculation.
I am factoring in about how much I can give as a young person living today, which is like way more expensive than it used to be.
A gift isn't always the only expense. Travel, hotels, and new outfits can add to the cost. At the same time, couples are also paying more to host weddings.
A setting like this would be around $60 a person without flowers.
Statistics Canada data shows consumer prices are up nearly 20% in 5 years, and that translates into higher wedding costs. On average, they now run between $30,000 to $42,000. Wedding planners say some of the biggest increases are showing up on the reception bill.
The biggest one is food and beverage. Definitely we're seeing a hike in the cost of signature drinks. Definitely, you know, back in the day they used to be like $10, now they're more like $17.
Newlywed Jennifer Bruce experienced this reality firsthand. Her September wedding in Calgary cost nearly $35,000, with the meal coming in around $130 per guest.
For me, this is my first wedding at 40. You're not really expecting people to give you stuff. It was just about the party, and anything that kind of went towards the honeymoon was just bonus for us.
Like Bruce, experts say no matter how much is in the card, the preferred gift these days is cash. Ina Sadhu, CBC News, Calgary.
Well, wedding season is upon us, and if you have a wedding this weekend, my goodness, make sure you stay hydrated, especially if it's outside.
Yeah, we're officially in the era of the summer suits.
Yes.
I think, with the heat we're looking at. All right, let's get right to Feline Friday, because I know we didn't do this last Friday, so let's make up for it with a couple. And I don't know, I'll let you try and determine who Carl and Norman are in this picture, because it might be a little hard to tell. Thank you, Todd, for sending this picture in. Yeah, they dressed up like the cats. You can send yours to talkback@cbc.ca. And how about Baby, who just enjoys a walk in the sunshine with the stroller? Well, you know what? Make sure if you're going for a walk in the stroller this weekend with the kids or the pups or the cats, you got lots of water with you, because we are looking at a hot weekend ahead. 31 by the afternoon in Winnipeg. South winds, maybe a bit breezy at times, but nothing overly windy as we get through the day tomorrow. And things continuing to stay hot and muggy as we head into the day on Sunday. But have a look at temperatures from this afternoon. Very seasonal for this time of the year. 22s, quite pleasant out there in Winnipeg. Winkler, Steinbach, 24 to 26 into southwestern Manitoba, even into northern Manitoba, where we have seen a bit more sunshine today. As expected, Lynn Lake, 25 degrees, but where we have seen a little bit more cloud cover through the central part of the province. This is where temperatures were held back slightly with that lack of warmth from the sun for the most part through the day today. So temperatures overnight tonight above seasonal for overnight temperatures, 12 in Dauphin, 13s through the Interlake in the Red River Valley, and looking at mostly clear to a clear sky through the overnight hours, 12s, 11s into northwestern Ontario tonight. Winds stay relatively light. 9 in Grand Rapids, 8 in Norway House. We'll start to get a little bit of clearing through central parts of the province overnight. 11 in Thompson and Gillam, 10 in Shamattawa. Looking at the day tomorrow, we'll get under a bit more cloud cover into Lynn Lake to Dooley Lake. This is where we could see some showers, maybe a couple of rumbles of thunder through the afternoon. Thompson, slight chance of a shower through the day tomorrow. 26 in Grand Rapids, 27 in Barons River. So some warmth pushing in to northern parts of the province as well, and into the low 30s into Westman. Quite windy tomorrow afternoon. And this is where we have that risk of thunderstorms as we get not through the afternoon, more so around supper hour and later as we get through the evening tomorrow. 31 in Winnipeg, Pinawa 30 degrees and 26s and 27s into northwestern Ontario. Quick look at your forecast for Sunday, another hot one where that cold front moves through as we get through the early part of the day. That will keep temperatures back through Swan River into Dauphin, for example, but a muggy 32 and 33 into the Red River Valley, Brittany, as we get through the day on Sunday.
Thanks, Riley.
You're welcome.
Bunnabonaby Cree Nation is dealing with challenging times. The small fly-in northern community, formerly known as Oxford House, has been struggling. There's been multiple deaths in the last few weeks, and it's starting to take a toll on people. Chief Sheila North joins me now. Chief, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me, Brittany.
Chief, tell us a little bit about what's been happening in Bunnabonaby in the last few weeks.
Well, as you know, I took over as chief on April 1st, and since about the second week into my term, we started losing people and loved ones from our community. And so far, since I've been in there, we've lost 9 people in our community and from our community. But the total from the beginning of the year, this year so far, has been 16. And as the year goes on, we average about 60 people a year that pass away on mostly untimely deaths.
That's an incredibly high number for such a small community. What are most of the deaths being attributed to?
A lot of the deaths are due to illnesses, a lot of cancers. Some people get diagnosed too late. Some people don't have access to the right treatments that they need right away or all the time. And, the last few years, we're seeing increased deaths due to overdoses and opioids that have been coming into our communities and hard drugs that our people are exposed to and taking and ultimately losing their lives.
When it comes to people living in care homes, people that are palliative, what is the end-of-life care like in a small northern community?
Well, most of the time people are sent out to the urban centers in Thompson or Winnipeg, and they get palliative care there right up until the family or the individual decides that they've had enough, or the doctor deems that they don't have any more resources or anything else that they can do to help the family or this person. And so they provide comfort care. So they have a choice to come home to the community. And most of the time, people will end up at the personal care home. So nurses and nurses' aides could help them during that end of life. But sometimes people want to be in their own homes and in their own communities. And they choose that even though they have less resources to help them with. And families are forced to take care of them without medical help and supervision. So it's varied depending on the people's wishes. And I would say it's not adequate.
You took us through some of the statistics, but we need to remember that each one of these numbers is a person. Yesterday, a double funeral was held in the community. You told me this is becoming the norm. So how are people dealing?
It's very hard on the community and very hard on the families especially. We do have coordinators that help with bereavement, and we do have counsel that specifically work on bereavement and with families, but it takes a huge toll on the community because what we like to do is take care of the family right when the person passes and then right up until burial day and burial minute even. So our community wants to be there 24/7 to make sure that people are fed, people are getting what they need, but the resources are getting scarce and running thin, and people are getting tired. They're not able to go and be with the families 24/7 anymore because there's just so many deaths that happen all the time.
What does your community need right now that would help?
Well, one of the biggest things that I hear every day from different families, mostly mothers, mostly fathers with kids, is they need housing. They need proper housing. Right now, as I said, there's almost 3,000 people in our community, and we only have just over 500 houses. And some houses are stocked with 3, 4 generations of people. Our community has complex issues and needs. It's a beautiful community. If people could see and be there and see the scenery and feel the people and you know, feel the love from the people, especially new people that come, they would feel it. But our community needs resources to keep up with the demands and meet the needs, because they are growing and our people deserve better.
Chief, thank you so much for your time. I appreciate you being here, and the best to you and your community as you continue to deal with this.
Like I said, thank you very much.
Still ahead, it's a sign of summer. Fair season has arrived in Brandon. We'll give you a sneak peek after the break. Plus, Bradley will have a last look at the forecast.
All right, thought I'd give you another look at the heat warning that is in place for a good chunk of southern Manitoba before we head into the weekend here. The city of Winnipeg included, Portage-la Prairie through the southern Interlake and down into south central parts of the province, Killarney, Manitou, Morden, Winkler. Doesn't mean places like Brandon, for example, and Verdun, places not in the warning, won't be hot, but just won't be hot for both Saturday and Sunday. We're looking at things moderating slightly in parts of Westman, at least through Sunday, after we see the potential for some thunderstorms Saturday into Sunday. So here's your 7-day forecast. 31 tomorrow in Winnipeg, mostly sunny sky. 32 into Sunday, looking at the humidity, making it feel closer to 35 or 36 by the time we are into the afternoon hours. And then we get a bit of moderation through the early part of next week, and another chance of showers toward the end of next week. One more weather picture. Couldn't leave you without this one going into the weekend. Suzanne taking this in St. Agath of a rainbow after all those thunderstorms rolled through earlier in the week. Talk back at cbc.ca. Finally tonight, it's a sign of summer in Westman, the Manitoba Summer Fair in Brandon.
There's something for everyone, from rides to music and my favorite, the food. CBC's Chelsea Kemp visited the fair today and has your daily lift.
It's perfect weekend weather for a stroll along the Midway in Brandon or jumping on a high-flying ride. The Manitoba Summer Fair is on now in the Keystone Grounds in the Wheat City. Organizers boast 2 new rides this year. One, a giant swing. The other, a rocking boat rising almost 3 stories high.
We are the first stop in Canada, so it's pretty exciting for us to be able to debut some of the new rides every year that come into Canada. We're the first spot they come every year, so it's great.
Mom Brianne Baudin says her kids have been counting down the days for the fair.
The kids get up for the rides, the food. They're super excited for the Ring of Fire.
The Manitoba Summer Fair ends Sunday. Chelsea Kemp, CBC News, Brandon.
Love it. The rides, the food, so much to do this weekend.
Hot weekend across southern Manitoba, so make sure you got lots of water with you.
Yeah, stay hydrated, get some shade, stay cool, that's for sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
Send us pictures if you're out and about. Talk back at cbc.ca.
Yeah, absolutely.
Have a great weekend.
Yeah, stay cool.
See what pictures we get.